The middle of fall is here. What does that mean if you're a buyer? What does that mean if you're a seller? Well, let me break that down for you. I'm going to get into numbers in a minute. You all know I love my numbers. But first, let me just generally say this has been a pretty active fall. Yes, it's been slower than spring, slower than summer, obviously, because the inventory is higher. You've vaguely heard me touch on that in a few different videos and things that I've done in the last couple of months. This is normal, okay? I say it every year. I say it 1,000 times. Sometimes I feel like no one's listening. But the better time to sell is in the spring. The better time to buy is in the fall. However, I will tell you, this fall has been decent for sellers. That has not been bad. Last fall was slow, okay? But let me show you what's going on here with numbers. This is over the last 4 years, so don't get confused by all the numbers on the bottom, but this is 2016, 17, 18, 19. But look at a couple things here to observe. Look at the inventory of homes for sale in the fall of 2016. It was up here. Then you get down to the winter of 17, back up to fall 2017, and look, that's where the inventory peaks every single fall. Down in the winter, back up. Now look at last year compared to this year. This is what I really want you to pay attention to. This was just to give you some historical data. But take a look at this. Last fall, we were up around 20,000 homes for sale. We were real close. Now we're hovering right around the 18,000 homes for sale mark. And you can see, like, right around Labor Day, inventory went down a bit and then went back up. We're right about here, and we've been hovering right around 18,000 homes for sale for a few weeks, okay? I'm going to take you down here and show you something. See this? This is each week. Every Monday we look at this data. 18,084 homes for sale, 18,200, 18,300, 18,200, 18,100. So we've really hit that peak of the amount of homes for sale. And what you're going to find in the next few weeks is it's going to go down a bit. Then when we get to November, it falls off a cliff, okay? Couple reasons for that. I'm going to explain them in a minute. But a couple things I want to show you first. If I go to last year, wait, this is going to take me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. If I look at the amount of homes that were for sale and how many of them went under agreement, see this property's UAG, and I look at the average each week. So over 5 weeks, there was 10% went under agreement, 11%, 10, 10, 9. That gives us an average of about 10.5%. So about 10.5% of the homes that were for sale last year and any given week went under agreement in that week. Now, fast forward to this year. Take a look. Stay with me. I know it's a lot of numbers. If I go 5 weeks, if I look at the same 5, look at this. 12, 12, 11, 11, 12. Average of about 12%. So we're at about 1.5 to 2% more homes going under contract every week than we were a year ago. What does that tell me? That tells me the market is better. There's no denying this has been a better fall. Now, 2% might sound like a little bit, but my friends, there's 18,000 homes for sale. So there's roughly 360 to 400 homes per week more going under contract over the last 5 weeks than there were in 2018. Well, if you add that up times 5 weeks, it's almost 2,000 homes. That's part of the reason our inventory is lower. Remember what I said, right? 18,000 for sale now. We had 20,000 for sale a year ago. What does that mean now moving forward? Well, if you're a seller and your home isn't selling, you've got to take a look at your price. I know you don't want to hear that. I know nobody ever wants to admit that, but you have to take a look at it. It's been a decent fall. This hasn't been a lackluster, very slow fall. It's been what I call decent. Not extremely busy, not slow, but homes are selling. If your home isn't selling, you absolutely should consider a price adjustment. Now, every single year, one of the things that we find is, I was going to show you another data point, but I decided not to. One of the things that we find is from about October 20th till about November 15th, there's kind of a race in the market. Things pick up. It gets a lot busier. Right now, we're in that period where it's slower. There's higher inventory. There's more for buyers to choose from. But once we get about 10 days from now, buyers start saying, wait a second, if I'm going to buy a home this year, I need to buy now. I need to get moving. And that's why what you'll see is the amount of pendings, homes per week, increases once you get to late October, early November. So if you're a buyer, think about that. Strike in the next 10 days when there's less competition. If you're a seller, one of the things you got to think about is making sure your price is right before you get to that October 20th, October 25th point, okay? Don't just wait and go, well, Anthony Lamacchia said the market's going to get busier, so I'll just sit around and wait for it. You might get lucky doing that because you will see more activity, but I wouldn't do that. If I was in your shoes and if your home isn't selling, make that adjustment downward. whatever, talk to your realtor, whatever the right amount is, and then when you hit that busy point, the home will sell, okay? So those are a couple things to think about. If you're a buyer, you should be happy. You're at the best time of year. The next 90 days is a great time. There will be a burst in activity. There will be more buyers that are busy from about October 20th to November 15th, but you're still in a good position, and I don't think you have anything to be complaining about. So I just want to make sure everybody completely understands how that works, and I want everyone to see this. This is last year. This is the year before. This is the year before. Once we get to about November 1st, the amount of homes for sale falls off a cliff. And we're going to see the same thing here. Now that's good if you're a seller, not so good if you're a buyer. So great time to strike is within the next month, and then in a month I'm going to give you other advice about other homes you can find if you're a home buyer. So I hope that makes sense. I don't think that was too many numbers. I think I explained it in a way that you can understand. But if you don't, if it was too much, put a comment, send us a message. We're happy to answer your questions directly because we want to make sure that people understand these updates. Good luck, happy home buying, happy home selling, happy fall, happy Halloween, and I'll see you soon.